the information that is available, not information that is ideal, but is the one that is available as a starting point, and which shows what trajectories we have if we are to go ahead. We've made some progress, if I'm not mistaken, intersexuality not in breakdowns, in existing breakdowns to the limits of our knowledge, sampling that is extremely limited in certain cases, the reach of the community, and bias in data that José pointed out and which may happen. If you look at certain groups, the panorama is going to be quite different. And one that you mentioned, that we do not have systematic information, right? Sometimes they are more the result so far of observation, etc. So there is a crucial need for mapping out in terms of numbers, gender breakdown, a more complex gender breakdown that involves other variables as education, age, etc., as in certain areas. Now, I begin to see, I don't know if you agree with me, but I begin to see other dimensions that are beginning to encroach and that perhaps could cater for more realistic views of what is there. The sample is very small, and they tend to be very homogeneous. It seems that there is one basic difference between men and women. They tend to be more equal, not necessarily the family pattern. But it's one thing, the motivation to come and the motivation to return or not. Most men will be for economic reasons, women as well. But women want to benefit from the culture of the city as well, according to the interviews. Where the view of men is to make as much as they can and then
But with your presentation, I've got a question which I could sound like the opposite. The issue about Brazilian migrants, I'm just thinking, are issues on Brazilian migrant women only applicable to migrant women, or are these issues passionate to all Brazilians, to Brazilian women? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The issues that you are bringing here, are they passionate just to Brazilians in London, or are these issues to any woman in Brazil?
Maybe this was there. The whole power balance of the family will change as well. So this inevitably brings men into issue as well. I apologize if what we organized reflects an unintended oversimplification. One of them was to separate the question of woman, because women are more vulnerable. So this perhaps explains the oversimplification, because we could have men as well. But this is a question that we can decide whether we will have masculinities as well, or shifting masculinities, shifting power relations, etc. Now, but migration, it's known to change gender patterns a lot. All the bibliography reviews this.
The situations that you are outlining are very similar with African women. The dependency of families back in Africa, I mean, it's very common. The whole African families, demanding books. I mean, these days they demand designer goods, and they have these raised expectations. There's this impression that this country is a land of milk and honey. It's very common across African families. I don't know how much it's common across other immigrant families, such as the Polish. And the thing about the exploitation as well, you find that here in some cases, and the fear. And I just wanted to know, in your studies, do you do any comparisons? Do you look at what's happened in other immigrant communities?
This is not university research. That is study case in the consultative.
That's what I'm interested in.
Taken for most of them for depression, most of anxiety, most not sleeping anymore. Some are filled with panic attacks in conversation.
Sorry, you didn't answer my question. Where do they go for help? Do they access?
They look for me. They go
do they
to,
access
yes,
the NHS?
they look at the Brazilian magazine for help, and there have my divert, Brazilian psychotherapist, and then they look for my help.
So, but do they access mainstream health
Now,
care?
if they are here irregularly, they will go to the.
Digging and find out.
You find GPs who are willing to do that
Yeah.
informally, to see the
Well,
best.
they do it because they don't take your. They're not supposed to take your immigration status at.
They are doing now.
They are
They
doing
do
it
it,
now.
yeah.
Well, there are. I know there are services for undocumented migrants. Maybe we have to do some work on this.
Can I say something? I don't know, it seems that quite recently the Home Office asked for GPs or hospitals, if it's illegal, please call them. And then some of them are doing that. In one case is enough to spread the word all over, and they stop going. One is enough. But they don't want to be in danger at all.
I had the experience of about a year and a half ago, where a Brazilian lady was heavily pregnant, and she asked if I knew any doctor that could help her. Unfortunately, we work with sexual health, but not with maternal health.
Yeah.
So I told her, well, try different GP practice, because sometimes if you go to one, they will say no. If you go to the next one, they might take you. So she went, and then she called me in the evening that when she got there, they took her passport, which was expired, and asked her to wait in the waiting room, and she was there for like 2 hours, and then they said, okay, it's in that room. When she went there was 2 immigration officers.
Disgusting.
And they didn't arrest her because of the state that she was.
Appalling.
So she went home and ran away.
Yeah. Well, I know that Angelina in Positively Women is doing some work looking at access to primary health care for positive women, and I think that this is something that we need to look at further.
Sure.
And see what work is being done, because I know work is being done in the context of HIV, but in the context of general healthcare, maybe we need to because I know there are services, but it's about finding where they are and letting people know. So maybe that's one of the